This episode of the Athletes Forum podcast, we discuss Week 8 in the European League of Football, the battle between two winless teams in the Enthroners versus the Prague Lions, and I made the craziest fantasy roster move in hopes to create separation and take the lead in fantasy football.
We doing everything they talk about. You know I'm everything a boss about. Not putting work and gotta toss them out. I'm really biting, they just barking out. I'm really riding, they just parking now. His street, what to talk about. See the big H when I'm walking out. Yeah.
Well. Welcome to the Athletes Forum podcast as we made it to Week 8 in the European League of Football. And as you know, this is the day we talk a little bit about this upcoming games. We make our picks versus First Down Magazine. Shout out to the guys there. And I'm telling you, I made the craziest roster move at a particular position that I'm hoping is going to give me separation and crack the top 5 in the European League of Football fantasy standing. So stay tuned to the end to figure that out. But I won't take up too much of your time. Let's dive right into it. So we got a lot of good games this week, a lot of good games. And one of the first games, actually, let's pull up the slate of games just so you guys kind of have an idea of what we're looking at. So the slate of games this week are, obviously we got Enthroners Prague. Somebody's got to get a win. Somebody's got to get a win. And then you see the slate here. But instead of just talking about it, let's dive into it a little bit. So the first game that I want to dive into is this one right here. Cologne versus Frankfurt. The battle between two teams that who knows what direction they're going in. Cologne, they just released their head coach. They're bringing in Coach Jack Bowell. He was the head coach of Berlin year 1 in the ELF. Defensive coordinator of the Raiders I think the first year that they came in. So, he does have some ELF experience, but, we'll see. And I kept asking this question, who is Frankfurt? It's kind of hard to get a grips on who they are. But instead of me telling you who they are, let's listen to Coach.
But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Yes, it is what it is at this point with Frankfurt. They're bringing in a new quarterback. They put Luke on the IR. We'll see if that gives them some boost or some momentum. Matthew McKay's coming in, played at North Carolina State, played at Elon, played at, I think, Montana State as well. Is Markel Castle going to get, more involved? Is the pass game? Is the offense going to look better? We shall see. I don't know where to go, but fuck it. I'm going with the upset. I'm going to pick Cologne in this game. I think we see a big Gerald Alman type of game, a big rush game. Cologne, we've talked about, has been a first-half team, but we'll see. New coach could spark some new momentum. Defensive-minded coach, so they're going to run the ball. They're going to try. They're going to play somewhat good against the Frankfurt team that has a lot of talent. But we'll see. But I'm rocking with Cologne for the upset. I mean, it's not a big surprise. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't. This is a game Frankfurt was supposed to win. But I think Cologne has a chance to pull it off. So we'll see what happens there. The next game we want to dive into is near and dear to my heart. Near and dear to my heart. We got the Helvetic Mercenaries going to play the Vienna Vikings. And I swear the league has something against Helvetic because the schedule they gave them last year, the schedule we got this year. So now we got to travel to Vienna. And obviously a lot's been going on. There's been a lot of changes. Coach Val Gunn steps down. Coach Billy, who's defense coordinator, comes in. Already got some familiarity there, obviously, with the players that's there. They bring in an offensive coordinator who already has history with Carlton Aiken. This is the Ken Hike revenge game, right? So we'll see what happens there. We'll see if maybe Helvetic could put some points on the board. It's going to be a new offense. I still think we need more weapons, to surround with Carlton and Anthony Brown. But I think defensively, this might surprise. Defensively, we might match up better than people think. And here's why, because it seems like they're always signing DBs, but we got a front seven that can contribute and maintain the run. Ben Holmes is great. He hasn't been lighting the world up besides that one game when he came back. But we also got DBs that can cover, a Noah Torre. DBs that maybe can match up with a Reese Horn. So who's that third or fourth guy? Maybe this is a Florida Beer Bond game, but we also got Kevin Forte. So I think defensively we could somewhat match up with Vienna, even though it may sound crazy. I just don't know if we're going to be able to score enough points. That's what it's going to come down to. So I'm going to rock with Vienna. Obviously, it's no surprise there, but I think it'll be a better matchup than what people are giving credit for. Just because, new offensive coordinator, who knows what's going to happen. But defensively, I think we match up better than people think. Or maybe that's just me being biased. I don't know. But anyway, we're going to rock with Vienna in this game at home as well, too. So next game to dive into. We won't talk too much about this game right here. All I'm going to say is a lot's been said during the week, for this game. And, I kind of gave my opinions last week with my reaction to Barcelona. I hate to see the franchise go just because they gave us a lot of great moments, and it's just a franchise that's never had the opportunity to have good leadership. Obviously, you hear a lot of things going out. Again, this is not for me to dive into it about it. But Madrid's going to win this game. Barcelona has released probably like 24 guys. It's going to be a whole new team. How well do they come together? How well do they gel? I guess this is going to be interesting from the standpoint that, like, you don't want Madrid to necessarily, like, this. I mean, it's football at the end of the day, so what happens between the lines happens. But you don't want to see, like, Madrid just, like, pound on Barcelona, like you don't want to be, like, 80-0 type of game. But the way the structure is set up for playoff is Madrid needs points, especially seeing after what Munich did in the first half. Like, you need points to separate, and create those tiebreakers. So maybe we'll get another Munich situation. I don't know, but like I said, I won't dive too much into it. Madrid's going to win this game. All right. Next game we're going to go to. We're going to head over to Sunday. Surge versus Innsbruck. I mean, we got the number 2 rushing offense versus the number 1 rushing defense. It don't get no better than this. Now, the first time these two teams met, it was a 6-3 matchup, year 2 in the ELF. That was a great game. Last year, actually. Last year, 2 years? Last year, maybe. Anyway, 6-3 matchup. It was a great game to say the least. But Surge is different, man. They're getting Darnell Stewart back. Their defense is different. Their defense is fresh. That team is fresh. I'm not saying, like, they've just been dominating all other teams. That's included, like, teams that were going to be close, like a Munich. Surge have been just the most complete team we've seen this year in the ELF. Obviously, right here, see with a 17-1 touchdown to interception ratio. The 3-headed monsters at receivers are back. You got Nicholas Kantar at running back, and defense speaks for itself. It's a fast defense. It's an aggressive defense. They're going to fly around. Vikings coming off a tough loss versus the Vikings. How do they bounce back? How do they recover? If Surge are going to stack the box, can N'Kosi Perry do enough in the passing game to lead the Raiders to victory? I don't think so. I'm going to pick the Surge. No disrespect to the Raiders. I don't think this game's even going to be close. I'm thinking maybe like a 32-14 type of game, just being completely honest, just because I think this is the best team in the ELF right now, and the Raiders have a little bit of Berlin in them where we've yet to see them win a game that they need to win / a big game that they have to win versus a quality opponent. So actually, I lied. Raiders did beat Munich. I got to give them credit for that. But we'll see. Hopefully I'm wrong, or maybe not, but we'll see. I'm rocking with the Surge to win this game. All right. Next game I want to dive into. This game easily could be the game of the week. Berlin Paris. This is a matchup we've never seen before, and I'm always excited about these matchups. This is a matchup between two teams that are definitely going to be in the hunt for playoff contention, maybe one more than the other. Berlin, high power offense. They show that they can run the ball, but that was against the Enthroner. So how much credit do you kind of put into that? Offensively, Aaron Jackson, Robin Vilcek, you got Kawanda, you got Nikolai Schumann, Jacob Sullivan. It's having a great year as a quarterback, passing wise. Only thing about that is that sounds all good, but you're going up against the number 1 pass defense in Paris that has just been playing lights out. I want to give a shout out to the Shady Sports Network. Michael Washington does a good job. He has a show on Tuesdays and Wednesdays with some of the ELF guys and former ELF guys. But Randy Schrader, former Surge quarterback, made a good point is, what is Paris really? Because when you do a deep dive into Paris, it's really Zach Edwards and what else? Yeah, they do have a great defense. But we've shown in the games that, like Frankfurt game, in the game like the Fire game, like You got to play a complete game versus like playing these like the Colognes or playing like the Hamburg Sea Devils. We want to see you play a complete game versus a quality opponent. This is that game. This is that matchup. So we'll see how everything pans out here. It's definitely going to be a good one. Magic, Zach, and Jacob could go score for score. Will it get to that point? I don't know. The biggest improvement I want to see from Berlin is from the coaches, to be honest. I feel like in a lot of big games, they get a little tight. Obviously, that Fire game is a proven example. I'm going to rock with Paris to win this game just because I think matchup-wise, I think Paris is the better matchup for Berlin. Obviously, they can stop the run. They could they have the number one passing offense. They have the O-line going up against that dangerous Kyle Kitchen. So we'll see. But I'm rocking with Paris to win this game. I won't ramble too much about it. So, all right. And the next thing we want to get into, Fire Hamburg. Hey, Hamburg, another team who was hard to kind of figure out. But again, what did Coach say?
They are who we thought they were.
Hamburg is who they are. All right. And, when you make a change at quarterback at this point in the season, I didn't necessarily think Javarius Smith was having a bad season, but was he the guy to kind of get them over the hump and keep pushing them forward? Clearly, they didn't think so. And for me, when you make a decision at quarterback like that, that tells me you still think you have a chance to make a run. And if you still think you have a chance to make a run, you gotta win this game and a lot of games going forward. Honestly, with being 2-3 right now, so it may start here for Hamburg. I don't see it. We'll see what happens in this capacity. I think the Fire are a team that is starting to click. I think the Fire is a team that is starting to look like last year's Fire team. They've been playing a lot better. They do have a different identity, and it's run through MVP probably leader Glenn Tunga and what he's done on the ground. They're not putting a lot of weight on Jadrian. And it's scary because Jadrian's a guy that still could take the game over. Kelvin McKnight starting to get his feet under him. Harlan Kofi playing a little better. Defensively, they've always been fast and physical. And Marlo Sean Franklin has been a huge addition joining the squad. Knowing that coaching experience, I don't see it. I don't see it. And D'Angelo Fulford, wish him nothing but the best. Didn't show a lot with Raiders. I thought obviously there could have been some potential people that stayed there and kept gelling, but obviously that happened, and it is what it is. His first game back, he has to go against the Fire. I'm going to pick the Fire to win this game, and we'll see how it goes from here. So that brings me to my next game and the last game, really the first game of the week. But since it's the Athletes Forum and First Down Magazine game of the week, we want to talk about the battle of the winless, because this could be the most entertaining game. Somebody's got to win. Prague looking for their first win ever in the ELF, and Throners looking for their first win of the season. They won, I think, 2 games last year. Who gets it? We got Nathaniel Robitaille going up against probably the worst passing defense in the league, and then on the other hand, you got Adam Zuzelka going up against one of the worst rushing defenses in the league. So this game, literally, could be a cop-out, could go either way. It could be high scoring. It could also be 9-7. So we will see. Locker room. Comment below. Let me know what you think. Because I know Paris, Berlin is going to be a good game, but for me, this is the game we all should be keeping an eye on. Because this game is going to be played with a little bit more urgency, a little bit more passion, a little bit more want. All right? Because nobody wants to continue to be that winless team and losing to a winless team. And we're going to get one of them this week. So we'll see. Prague at home. I'm rocking with Prague to take this game. I'm going to say it's going to be a low-scoring game, under a total of 24 points. One guy I want you guys to keep an eye out for is this bad guy right here, James Brooks. On a different team, maybe a winning team, he might get a little bit more recognition, but a little bit older. But he's been a guy that's been, tearing it up the past few years for Prague, been a staple of that defense. I'm going to rock with Prague. I think they've showed the most consistency, the most competitiveness between other opponents, other similar opponents, and I think they can find a way. Offensively, they got to do some things better because, as I mentioned before, Shady Sports Network, they had Aaron Ellis on the show. He made a good point. Is that Prague doesn't really have a developmental passing offensive scheme. It just seems like just line throws, just tucking the ball downfield all the time. But we'll see. Someone's got to win. Someone's got to win this game. And I'm rocking with the Prague Lions to win this game. So that's what we have here in regards to, the picks for the week. And then let me bring this up. All right, let me bring this up because it's been a close battle all season between Athletes Forum and First Down Magazine. It's 42-41. I'm leading by 1. We agree on a lot of games except the last 2. I'm picking Cologne. I'm picking Prague. All right. So what's going to happen here? Is he going to gain ground? We don't know. But this has been a close matchup between me and David D from First Down Magazine, and we'll see what happens here. But Prague and Cologne, need you guys this week. I need you guys this week. All right. So we'll see how this pans out. Another thing I want to dive into is the playoff hunt. I like the teams that we're seeing in there because we welcome back the Raiders. Vienna gets the 1 seed. Surge are still in there. Ryan has to play week 1. Fire Raiders is a matchup we haven't seen. Madrid, Paris is a matchup we will see down the road. But I like the teams and the makeup. Obviously, the West is represented heavily. People forget the East had 3 teams in the playoffs last year. So we'll see. But the playoff hunt is intact. We'll see how this looks after this week, and we'll reevaluate. All right. And then lastly, my fantasy team. I'm ranked 12th. I'm ranked 12th in the European League of Football Fantasy League. And I had to make a huge change. Huge change at the quarterback position. Something that I'm hoping is going to pay off. Something that is different. And something that is unusual. All right. I'll say this. I have all athletes, no quarterbacks. Now, you're probably thinking, how is that possible? I went with my guy, Hugo. I can't pronounce his last name, not going to try. Backup quarterback for Paris, also a receiver. He's going to be my quarterback, all right, for this week. And obviously, you can see I stacked it with a lot of other guys. This gave me a lot of financial versatility. I'm praying this pays off. If this pays off, you can see a big jump in the standings by Athletes Forum based coverage. And we're trying to make it work. If it doesn't, it's been a hell of a ride because it's going to be hard to get back from here. But this is my fantasy roster. Locker room, comment below. Let me know what you guys think. Hey, thank you all for tuning in. Subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment. What we got coming up next? Next week, we're going to dive a little bit into some news coming from the north. All right? News coming from the north. I won't spoil it, but we got some things we got to discuss there. So, again, thank you all for tuning in to the Athletes Forum podcast. Continue to subscribe, support. Check out all the other YouTube channels. And yeah, let's keep this thing going.